What's up, guys? Our Wrestling Podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious, along with Just Total Package and Craig the British Bulldog, bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. Today's topic: the legacy of Rick Martel. For audio fans, can you give us
the legacy of Richard Joe?
It's coming. It's totally coming. Or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel and check out our exclusive content on Daily Motion at Our Wrestling Podcast. On social media, can you give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast? Jess, why are you doing this to me? This is a lot of French words in here. It's gonna be rough.
Rough. I'm not breaking my legacy rule. I have before in the past. My legacy rule is when I'm going to do a legacy of somebody, they have to have won a world title, a notable world title, like
he has.
Whatever. AWA, when he won it, was still, considered they were a third at that point, but I mean, they weren't totally.
It was a big deal.
AWA championship when Rick Martel won it was still kind of where people were like, oh, okay, he's AWA champion.
Yeah.
He was still the third, of the big other two, but it's Rick Martel was a world champion. Say that shit. He was. So I think this is going to be good, actually.
I didn't know that was your criteria for legacy. That's interesting.
Is, but
I didn't know that the world champ was your...
I broke it for Orndorff. I broke it for Rude. I broke it for Bulldog. So I broke it for people, but just we don't need to talk about that.
Okay.
All right. Jumping right in. We love Rick Martel. Doesn't get enough play in the WWF circuit.
He doesn't. He should be in the WWE Hall of Fame, and he is not. And that is
100%. 100%.
That is horseshit.
That blew my mind that he's not.
Stupid.
That's something's up there, right? Or he must not want to. Maybe he's like 300 pounds and bald.
No, he's actually in good shape. He's done shoot interviews. He's in good shape still.
Oh shit. Well, then that's on you, Trips and company.
Yeah, we'll work it out. They always do. Born March 15th, 1956, Richard Viginal is from a family of wrestlers and made his professional debut at age 17.
Are you sure?
His brother
I just want to say, stop.
Are you sure, Dave?
Are you
sure about that?
I just want to say that we had money on Dave screwing that name up on the notes, and I think he nailed it. And if people have any kind of Canadian or French or Quebec affluence, feel free to shit on Dave or tell us that he was right. So
it's fine.
I'm well done. I thought you were not going to nail that. You did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
thank you.
We'll see it. We'll see how it goes along these lines.
Okay.
His brother Michel, also a wrestler, exactly, asked him to replace an injured wrestler. Martel is already a skilled amateur wrestler.
Michelle, really?
Michelle.
I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Michelle.
You're right.
Michelle.
Yep.
And quickly adapted to professional wrestling. Martel wrestled throughout the world, winning titles in Canada and Stu Hart Stampede Wrestling and Vancouver-based NWA All-Star Wrestling.
Richard.
New Zealand.
I'm going to stretch you.
Stretch you.
You have a funny last
Hawaii
name.
And Puerto Rico. Don't forget Puerto Rico-based World Wrestling Council, the WWC.
Point of the elbow in your neck.
Shit. Like he has perfect pronunciation, Stu. Richard Le Chiffon. Get over here so I can stretch you. It's just perfect. It's like, wow, Stu fucking said my name right.
This is your tendon stretching. Richard Le Chiffon.
You said croissant. Terrible.
Do you feel your bones break?
Oh.
How's your brother Michel? All right, sorry.
His first real success, not Stu's, but Martel's, came in the United States in the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA Portland's affiliate, Pacific Northwest Wrestling in 1979, where he became a top talent. Martel debuted in the World Wrestling Federation in July of 1980. That fall, he formed a tag team with Tony Guerrera.
45 years ago.
It's crazy.
And what a lot of people forget, Dave is in the cover right now. A lot of people forget this stint because everybody really remembers. I don't know about even everybody anymore because it's 2024. I remember because I became a fan in the late 80s. I remember, he won the tag titles with Santana, which we'll get to much later. But like Dave's in the cover right now, Rick Martel was already a former WWF tag team champion when he won the belts with Santana.
People don't know that.
Yeah.
And by the way, and they defeated the Wild Samoans. Not with Santana, obviously. That was with Tony Guerrero. But
they were the tag team
titles.
record holder before Demolition finally beat them. So they were the first. Wild Samoans were the first tag team to win the title 3 times. Les Chiffons.
Right.
The referee, Dick Worley, knew which 2 individuals were legally in the ring. Let's get the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time of the match, 14 minutes, 29 seconds. The winner, a new world record.
The Philadelphia Spectrum, the setting for Rick Martel and Tony Gurria, the newly crowned tag team champions, and the Spectrum goes electric.
They successfully defended the title until dropping the belts to the Moondogs on March 17th, 1981, but they regained those titles from the Moondogs on July 20th.
So he was two-time tag team champion.
Yeah, this is
second year in or whatever. Gee, that's crazy.
This is some name dropping. Their second reign came to an end on October 13th of same year when they lost to Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito. So Fuji was still active in the early 80s. He was managing by the time we saw him, in 80s?
Yeah, we only knew Fuji the manager, but Fuji was actually a very accomplished. Him and Saito, like they're a legendary tag team. Like they were a very
legit,
good tag team. Yeah.
Just something to think about. Where even when we saw Fuji, I watched the WrestleMania matches recently. We're probably going to talk about later. And I saw Fuji. I mean, he wasn't bad in there, and he was wrestling against Demolition and others as a manager /wrestler for a moment. And I was like, oh, he can kind of go. He knows what he's doing in there. And we didn't know that as kids because we were too young. I think in '81, I was.
Yeah, I think they were national and especially LA legends.
Yeah.
Fuji, like they really were.
Right.
Yeah, West Coast.
Although they would challenge those champions numerous times, Martel and Guerrero were unable to recapture those belts, and Martel left the WWE in 1982. He then signed with AWA in that year, quickly ascended through the ranks, defeating Sarita. No, it's Saruta. To win the AWA World Heavyweight Championship on May 13th, 1984. Did I say it wrong the second time?
But the action goes on, and a reversal and a whip. And now, Saruta coming across. But Saruta has run into the top rope. And here is a flying power body slam. A count of 1, a count of 2, a count of 3. And the new heavyweight champion of the world of Quebec City, Canada, is Ricky Martel.
So Dave, sorry, you said he won the world title, right? AWA world title.
Yeah, he won the AWA world title on May 13th of 1984 against Saruta.
Yeah.
And 19 months, that's a long time. And he would wrestle people like Ric Flair, Jimmy Garvin, Nick Bockwinkel, King Tonga. Those are big names. And then he lost the title in 85, December 19th of that year, to Stan Hansen. He's still going now, isn't he? Stan still going. What?
Texas. Stan Hansen.
Texas.
I mean, for Rick Martel to be at this stage a world champion in what is, and Jess was absolutely right earlier saying the big three, it was NWA, WWF, AWA. It was legitimate, and to be this young, and he must have been that good, and they must have believed that much in him. I mean, 100%. Shit.
Well, yes.
Damn.
And, again, when our fandom, because we were so young, we just thought of him as Strike Force, part of Strike Force and everything when we got to kind of really know him. And then he became the model after that. But, Dave's going to read on, Rick Martel is an excellent professional wrestler. Excellent. He's really good. When you go back and watch a lot of his stuff, I'm like, God damn, Martel was fucking really good. Really good in there. So, yeah. It's crazy. And then you talk Flair's done on shoot interviews and stuff too. He's like, dude, Martel, he had the package. He was such a good looking man. He was in shape. He could wrestle.
Fucking body.
He was this guy.
He was huge.
Yeah. He was if the territory stayed around for longer, if Vince didn't shut everything the fuck down, Martel would have been on the independents forever, or on the territories forever, winning multiple championships, he could have even been NWA heavyweight champion if he wanted to, Martel, if he had more time.
Martel returned to the WWF in '86 with his tag team partner Tom Zink. They were billed as the Can-Am Connection.
Yes.
Zink was the boyfriend of Martel's sister-in-law
Silly.
and introduced to Martel in the AWA by Kurt Hennig. There you go. They split shortly after WrestleMania 3 in March of '87. Zink claimed Martel had secretly negotiated an individual contract worth 3 times more than his partner's contract. Traditionally, tag teams were paid roughly equal shares, equal salaries. Martel strongly disagrees with that. He also claimed that Zink was overwhelmed by it all. Wrestling is very hard on your body. It's hard on you mentally. It's hard physically. Tom wasn't mentally or physically hard as I thought he would be. So Martel just dresses him down completely.
I tend to agree with Martel on this. I think we know
Zink went to
Crockett
/ WCW and never rose above mid card. I think he won the TV title once, and then that was it. Maybe a couple US tag titles or whatever. But Zink never went.
Yeah.
He was always paranoid, and
he's a very bitter.
Yeah,
dude.
he thought that people were always getting paid more money than him. He thought he should be a single star, and then he goes to WCW and was barely a mid card guy. It's like, and then Tom Zink was talented as well, looked great, all the other things, but Martel definitely had the better head on his shoulders.
Yeah,
and
I tend to agree with Martel.
Yeah, coming into WWF here, fucking former world heavyweight champion Martel, former regional many-time world champions, like in Canada, everywhere else. Like Martel was seasoned already. Like,
can we talk
at the time of Thomas's departure, the Can-Am Connection was in a feud with the Islanders, Haku and Tama. Zink's departure was worked into the feud, and the Islanders claiming that Zink was a quitter and abandoned Martel because he knew they could never beat them. In July of the same year, Martel defeated
quitter. Hee-haw.
That's a fantastic Haku. Jess has a great Haku.
And even in the ring when he's working, he's like, and he hits people. Like Haku is so verbal in there.
Strongest man in the business, right? That's what they say.
You're talking about the fleet manager for whatever Honda.
Yeah.
And he'll still beat the shit out of anybody, any 20-year-old that'll walk in there.
Yes, it's one of the toughest men in the world for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. In '87, Martel defeated both Haku and Tama in singles competition. Then on August 15th of the same year, episodes of Superstars Wrestling after Martel defeated Barry Horowitz, he was jumped by the Islanders, of course. Tito Santana, who was doing commentary, Ariba, in the Spanish broadcast booth, ran to the ring to help Martel fight off his attackers. Martel and Santana then formed a tag team called Strike Force. I think it was something like that. Strike Force immediately immediately challenged the Hart Foundation, Bret the Hitman Hart, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart for the WWF World Tag Team titles. Strike Force won the titles on an episode of Superstars after Martel made Neidhart submit to a Boston Crab.
So
that's
Strike
crazy.
Force. Tito had a sombrero on his tights, and Rick had the lightning bolt.
No,
is that right?
Tito had the sombrero and a lightning bolt. They both had lightning bolts. Tito had the sombrero, and Martel had the Canadian leaf.
Santana gets out of there. Martel trying to get him over. Boston Crab submission. Oh, he gave up. Submission. The only thing I gotta say, it took a double team to do it. There's capacity crowd as he runs it. Look at this. There is jubilation here. Martel Santana apparently victorious and will be officially called. We hear the decision. Here are your winners and new World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions, Strike Force.
Strike Force would hold the titles for 5 months, defending primarily against the Hart Foundation and the Islanders before losing the Demolition, Axe, and Smash. Woo!
WrestleMania 4.
First or second title?
WrestleMania Quattro.
But what title was that for Axe and Smash? Their first or second?
Their first.
Crazy.
Tell him Smash.
Yeah, WrestleMania 4, Atlantic City, when Smash pinned Martel. WrestleMania 4, I think I might have said 5. When Smash pinned Martel as a result of Martel being hit on the back of the neck by Axe using Mr. Fuji's cane. I remember that.
Look at that callback. Martel actually fought Fuji in the ring for the tag.
Then he takes the cane. How about it? Shortly afterward, Martel and kayfabe took time off due to injuries sustained in a title rematch against Demolition at a primetime wrestling taping in Oakland, California on June 1st of 88. Smash then hit Martel with a steel chair. Demolition performed their Demolition decapitation finisher on him at ringside, leaving him unconscious on the floor. In the storyline, he briefly retired due to these injuries. In reality, he was granted leave from the WWF and took 6 months off to help care for his wife, who was severely ill. Martel returned in January. I didn't know that either. That's news to me. I had no idea. He returned in January of '89 as a singles wrestler before reforming Strikeforce with Santana at WrestleMania 5 to face the Brainbusters, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. Not enough time for them there. It's a whole other story we've talked about in our archives. During the match, Santana accidentally hit Martel with his signature flying forearm smash and knocked him out of the ring. I remember this vividly. A frustrated Martel refused to tag in and walked away, leaving Santana to be beaten down and pinned. I think it was one of these as he's walking away. Following his heel turn.
That's always the move of like, I'm out of here.
Turning heel.
I can't do it. I'm a heel now.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's like
that's not arrogance. I don't like. I can't do it.
It hurts.
In my mind, I could do a really good Rick Martel because it's like a little bit of a French accent, but kind of like because the way
it's tough.
He talks like Pat Patterson a little bit, but it's just like this is. But a lot of it is like
He's
Martel
smug.
when he did his what Dave will talk about when he becomes a model. It's more like this is is my talk. Like that's what he does, but it's the way he does it. Like I can't quite nail it. I'll get it. I'm gonna fucking get it.
Well. Yeah,
did you say arrogance right there is the safe word? Or?
No, not as the safe word. I did not say the safe word.
Okay. Cool.
Following his heel turn, Martel acquired Slick as his manager. Okay. He feuded with Santana on and off over the next 2 years.
Slick.
As 1989 ended, Martel's association with Slick quietly ended, which was I think was good.
Where was the you of Santana? Like when on his because at the end of WrestleMania 5, Gene Okerlund's like, you walked away from your partner. What are you doing? It could have been a lot worse. He's a loser. I could have been a lot worse. That's like, that's great. That's my favorite. Like
that's really good. You have been working on that.
It's hard to do in his fucking voice because it's very. He has to be like the heel Rick Martel because.
And he could speak English. It's not like he couldn't do promos, and that's the thing. He just had a thick accent. Like
it wasn't even that thick.
He was good.
He still was. He had all the good. He checked all the boxes, as Conrad said.
Out there, you left Tito Santana high and dry. You walked away from your tag team partner.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, he just got what he deserved. You know, I'm sick and tired of him. You know, I'm sick and tired of carrying him around. You know, I was doing great when I was since I've been coming to WWF as a single wrestler. But no, Mr. Tito wants to ride my coattail once more. But I'm sick and tired of him. I've been carrying him around for too long already.
Wait a minute, Rick Martel, you're out of line. Strikeforce was supposed to be a team.
I don't want to be associated with that guy. He's a loser. You saw his timing was way off. You're lucky that I'm being a gentleman that I am. I just walked off. I could have been a lot worse for you, Tito Santana.
You understood everything he was saying.
His body was fantastic.
Yeah, he's boy's chiseled, man. I'm not gonna say that word again. Go back to Rick and Morty if you want to see that word again. In late 1989, Martel adopted a narcissistic gimmick as the model.
I'd eat sushi off him.
What? This is my favorite Rick Martel moment. He introduced his own fictional brand of cologne called Arrogance, and he carried it in a large atomizer and sprayed it in the eyes of his opponents to blind them. It was
like a termite. Like it was like the thing that you see with the poison. And Vince and Bruce actually wanted that. They're like, we want it to be the little cylinder that goes into the round can. And like, because that's what poison was always in on cartoons and stuff, and you like spray poison, and so they wanted arrogance, like to tell you that it's rancid, it's bullshit, because he's a heel, like so smart, like so good.
What was it? Wasn't Gene like that stinks? Like
yeah, he'd be like, oh, like every time he'd go and spray it or whatever, and
it was literally like a bicycle pump.
Yeah, like the end, the cylinder was like a bicycle pump. Yeah, and you could tell it was like a canister, like a sideways can, a big can of soup. Funny. It's like, but it was all spray painted.
It was so
blue.
Ridiculous. Yeah. It's like,
and
that's a lot of goddamn cologne.
He used to
be. It's like, why would you need 6 gallons of cologne in that atomizer?
I think you just found your 2-minute clip, buddy, right there.
He used to beat prelims, and then when he would be done, he'd spray the shit out of them with the cologne, and they'd be like, oh, like it's all over him, and then like they'd be like, it stinks. fucking stinks.
And he was perfect, man.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Martel's most high profile feud during his stint as the model was with Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yes.
Sparked when he blinded Roberts with arrogance on the Brother Love show in October 1990. Now I am not happy with what's coming up on this. I'll tell you right now. This was not
okay.
I don't like this. Did you not put it on here? I think probably maybe you didn't. Did you not put on the blind match on this thing? Did you not?
Yeah, it's on there.
Of course you did.
Okay, good. I was like, we better get into that.
He just skips over it.
Woo! Martel and Roberts captured opposing teams at the Survivor
then
Series.
in WCW.
Yeah, the Visionaries, Martel, the Warlord, and Power and Glory defeated the Vipers, Roberts, Superfly, Jimmy Snuka, and the Rockers in a 4-0 sweep. The first time this has happened in Survivor Series history. That's when Hogan had to. And Hogan had to make sure the Warlord was pinned in 30 seconds in the old Survivors.
You can't see how many fingers am I holding up because I remember all that too. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, here it is. Roberts would ultimately get his revenge at WrestleMania.
You 7. Take the vision of a madman.
Take a vision and you take it away from him. Defeating Martel in a blindfold match. That's right. You heard it here, folks.
What is this, John?
Jake the Snake Roberts defeated Rick Martel in a blindfold match.
You took my vision, man.
That was on a WrestleMania. That was on a WrestleMania, folks. And it was terrible.
Listen,
they spent like 5 minutes doing this.
It was not terrible.
Like Mark
let me tell you
that shit around. Don't defend this right now. What are you doing?
Let me correct you, my man. So the segment on Brother Love was really cool because I remember like they were fighting like. A couple weeks before that, they just kept having the model come out and fucking spray arrogance, and Bruce Pritchard would be like, "I love you," and do the whole thing. And then Jake came out and he's like, "What's this, my man?" And like somehow I don't remember how it happened, but
stop saying my man.
That's all I remember. Jake Roberts saying, "That's not gonna happen, my man." Like so I don't remember what happened. It was legitimately an accident. Like the way they booked it was like he came around and like I don't remember what happened with it. And he sprayed Jake right in the eyes. But it was legitimately an accident where you saw Martel go, "I did not know, that's my arrogance." Like so it was a whole thing. But then like he of course then they started laughing at Jake and all that stuff, and then that's what built the thing. They even put white contacts in Jake's eye to make it look like there was no fucking pupil left, like whatever. And he was like, "Look at that, man!" Like, and he was just really like,
"Bravo, he's gonna do it again." O.W.P. pulling this. He's he got it right in the eye. He got it right in the eye. Somebody get down there. Martel sprayed him right in the eyes with arrogance. He sprayed him right in the eye. I saw it. He's hurt.
They did a whole thing together. So I get what you're saying, Dave. You need to calm down. So the whole thing, the whole hokey thing was on Bruce Pritchard's podcast. He was like, "So what fucking sucked, right? Is like he's like, we got the black bags and we put it over their head, and in the locker room under regular lighting, it looked fine.
Couldn't see.
They could see through it, but you couldn't see through. When the arena lights hit, you could actually see the outline of their face in the bag, and you knew they could fucking see through it. So he's like, that fucking sucked. But he was like, honestly, like." As dumb as it was, the crowd was so hot, and every time Jake would point, like the model, they would cheer. If model would point to Jake, they would boo, like like he wasn't there. But it was just all so good.
The psychology of it was fucking pure. Like it was really good.
It was silly that was the blow off, but it was it was a blindfold match. You blind me, an eye for an eye, my man. Like,
we'd never seen it. Like it was great. Like
for the rest of '91, Martel represented the WWF on Japanese tours for the Super World Sports. On December 91, he lost to Naoki Sano in a match to determine the inaugural SWS Junior Heavyweight Champion. Did I say it right? Naoki Sano?
I don't know.
Okay. You guys, I don't know. I just put it on there to see what you do.
I admire your bravery.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. We'll get into it. Yeah. Later.
I'm not gonna
in early '92, Martel began a feud with Tatanka. I know how to say that name at least.
Yes.
No. It's Tay Tonkonka. Thank
you. This led to WrestleMania 8, where Tatanka pinned Martel.
No.
I think Tatanka was working on undefeated streak at this time.
You cannot pin the model. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. That summer, Martel had a brief feud with Shawn Michaels, not Michelle's, as both men sought the affections of sensational Sherry. Which is unfortunate because Martel, if Martel had stayed with Sherry, I think it would have been so much better We all know that Shawn Michaels working with Sherry didn't fit down the road, even though she sang his theme song at first before he took it over. There's so much weird story in there, but yeah, I think Martel.
They worked
Sherry
for what it
was
was back then.
Better fit.
Yeah.
The feud ended with a chain of events that resulted in a double countout at SummerSlam 92, held at the Wembley Stadium in London, England. The match carried a no punching in the face stipulation, mutually agreed upon and eventually disregarded by both of these narcissistic heels.
Tooth and nail. They don't care about Sherry. Wait a minute. Sherry. Did you see that in the background? She moved. She moved. Both men counted out. She's fixing her hair. And Sherry, she was fixing. She is. Look at this. She's what? She fainted again. She didn't faint. What are you trying to say? Watching these two men, I believe, fight over her. And you think that's deliberate what she's doing?
Martel then
what a great stip for those guys too. Like perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know who wrote that.
I remember that. That was good. Yeah, because they were both, they were baby face heels. If that makes sense. They were pretty boy heels.
No punch in the face.
No punch in the face. Martel then resumed his rivalry with Tatanka by stealing his sacred eagle feathers to add to his wardrobe. He probably sprayed them with arrogance as well. If I didn't know any better. His feud was resolved in the 1992 Survivor Series, where Tatanka again defeated Martel and reclaimed the stinky feathers. I don't know if they were stinky, but only they were sprayed with arrogance.
You're a terrible person.
In 93, Martel mainly appeared on the lower undercard and rarely on television. However, at the September 27th Monday Night Raw taping, he was the co-winner with Razor Ramon of a battle royal to decide the competitors in a match for the vacant Intercontinental Championship. He lost that match, aired the next week, to Ramon. So Ramon, is that his first IC title? When was that?
Ramon won his very first ever IC title by beating Martel in the finals.
Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. There's almost no way out of this. Here comes the Razor's Edge. Step to step. We got a new champion. 1, 2, 3. He did it. Give him credit. The bad guy comes from way down in the gutter all the way to the top rung of the ladder. I've got chills right now to the spine. I'm sick of my stomach.
Martel debuted in WCW in '88 on the January 5th episode of Nitro, defeating Brad Armstrong in his debut. Was he still Rick Martel? Did he own that name?
Yeah, he owned Rick Martel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had an AWA before, right?
He was model and
Yeah. Martel feuded with Booker T for the World Television Championship, failing to win it at Sold Out before winning the championship on February 16th episode of Nitro. Martel's comeback was cut short during his rematch with Booker T at Super Brawl 8. That was on February 22nd when he landed badly on a throw, hitting his leg on one of the ring ropes. He tore the inside ligament of his right knee, fractured his leg, and suffered cartilage damage. And this would affect.
It didn't look that bad, really.
I remember this happening and them saying that
things.
It's crazy. Like, well, because the WCW ring was fucking 5x5. So it's like, Jesus Christ. Like,
so small.
He got hurled across the ring and just fucking hit his legs on the ropes.
And it's cables, and yes, he hit it with the leg and stuff,
That's
but
so
goddamn,
weird.
that's a lot of damage.
That actually ended his in-ring career, believe it or not.
Well, no, he came back and they had one more match and got hurt again.
Another injury. Done. Is a July 13th episode of Nitro against Booker T's Harlem Heat tag team partner, in real life older brother Stevie Ray. And then Martel said, "I'm done. I'm retired for this point."
So I don't know what happened in that match, but like that had got to be frustrating to like come back. He's like, and smart enough for Martel to be like, okay, that's it. I'm done.
Two similar injuries. I got to go. Like, yeah. And apparently both the Harlem Heat brothers, they're hurting. They're gonna kill me.
Sure, with that problem with the knee, here comes the quarterback crab.
How close is he to the ropes? Can he reach the ropes? Jimmy Jet over to Tank. Jet, he's reaching, I believe, with that left hand. But now,
did he tap?
He's tapping.
He tapped him. We have a new World TV champion.
We got a new champion. Martel did it. Incredibly, wow. Sanders came in. Booker T tried to kick him down, and then we've got a new TV champ. Now, this would mean, I would assume, that Martel goes on to Super Brawl.
Quite a list of championships here. Oof. I'm going to try to list these off.
Why don't you read them?
For the American Wrestling Association, he was AWA World Heavyweight Champion one time. He's in the Cauliflower Alley Club Luthez Award,
Yeah.
2011.
Yes.
Georgia Championship Wrestling, he's an NWA Tag Team Champion. NWA All-Star Wrestling, he's a tag team champion for the Canadian side with Roddy Piper. He's a champion with Roddy. How about that? New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, class of 2011. And Pacific Northwest Wrestling, he is a Pacific Northwest
Quebec independence forever.
And a tag team champion 3 times.
Yes.
Pro Wrestling Illustrated ranked him 48 out of the 500 best single wrestlers
in
in 2003. And he was 70 of the best 100 tag teams in the PWI years with Tito Santana in 2003 as well.
Wow. 70 tag teams ahead of that? Okay.
I don't know. Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, class of 2015. And Stampede Wrestling, he was an International Tag Team Championship with Lenny Hurst.
Of course.
WCW, he was
Lenny.
World Television Champion.
I did.
And in the World Wrestling Federation, he's a 3-time tag team champion.
Yes, I told you.
The same people. So he technically owns that with Demolition and others, but before it got crazy. But it's just with 2 different people, Tony Guerrero twice and Tito Santana.
Of course.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
I read it earlier, David.
No shit. Stupid American. You know nothing.
I don't know anything. That's quite an accomplishment of wrestling there. Quite a plethora for someone who has not been inducted into the WWE.
That is strange and shocking, and I don't know why. And
that's super dumb.
Very strange. I wonder if there's a backstory there somewhere, but he absolutely deserves to be in there.
Yeah, Martel is a star, like he really is. Like, and I remember when he went to WCW in '98, I was like, God, he's so out of place because he's just like this older guy. Which Bischoff was trying to fill the roster even with older people because he had Thunder to book as well. So it was just like when he brought Martel over, it was like, what? And then like Martel had some pretty good matches when he was there too. And I was like, oh my God, like for him to win a TV title and everything, like that's pretty cool. Like that's pretty awesome.
100%.
But Martel's awesome. Like I really do like him a lot. And I'm not cheating on my legacy, but he was AWA heavyweight champion at a time when the AWA title kind of did mean something still. So I feel like Martel is an unsung hero. Nobody talks about him. We did what happened to Tito Santana. Tito Santana never won the world title, obviously, in either promotion. But at the same time, like they're 2 of the same to me. They were such good workers, and they both had great looks, and they were both like really, like kind of heartthrobs when they were younger and stuff. And like it just, man, they had all the, like Conrad said, they check all the boxes.
Tito's still cheating too.
You're not cheating at all. I think he was a great underrated representation of of a great champion, and the fact that he went from AWA champion to kind of middling around the tag team ranks at that point, like before he found himself kind of as the model, like.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
crazy
to see.
We all remember the model in the blindfold match, probably first and foremost of Rick Martel, which is kind of a shame. I don't blame him for that, though. Which is kind of a shame, but I'm glad he was remembered for something. So it's like his AWA World Title run, all the matches against Flair, Race, Saito, like all those people. You're just like, man, like. He faced some big legends in the sport, but we remember the Jake Roberts, come on, my man, like in that whole match or whatever. But that's fine. However you get remembered, you were part of the biggest wrestling promotion in the world, and he was for mid-card. The model was a guy that was featured every week, and we knew
Gen Xers remember Model and Strikeforce for sure for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And that's why I want to do. That's why I want to do episodes like this, because I feel like his career was before that already 2-time tag team champion with Gurria, Tony Gurria, like before,
world champion, world champion,
and then he was world champion at AWA. So like he had already won WWF tag titles and was already AWA heavyweight champion before he won the titles with Santana. So it's like it's crazy, like about how accomplished he was.
Come on,
before.
Trips.
Yeah,
put him in the hall, man. Put him in the hall.
It's stupid. Yeah, put him in the Hall of Fame. It doesn't make any sense.
I agree.
Come on, feel the arrogance. Put me in Philadelphia.
Fantastic. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. Don't forget to check out our exclusive content on Daily Motion.
Go an hour and a half
Our Wrestling Podcast. And on social media, can you give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. For Dave, Justin, Craig, this is the O.W.P.
Spell my name. You
signing off very arrogantly. Have a good one.
Watch yourself, my man.